it's the Nitro RC Nerds here, and today what we're going to talk about is changing out a servo, specifically the throttle servo on the Losi 810. And if I can just kind of get some of this in the picture here, you'll see that I actually have it, at least electronic compartment, taken out. What I've learned is that if you're going to do any kind of working on your servos, you're definitely, from my opinion at least, going to want to just take this little piece right here out. It's going to make things much easier. They screw out, there's holes right here, here from underneath, very easy to take out. So before you get started on any of this, I would certainly recommend that you just go ahead and take this out so that you have everything very easy and you can work with it and get to anything that you need. And to give you a little bit of background on what occurred, I just got this car broken in and the throttle servo on it gave out. It just kind of stopped working. And so I contacted the distributor where I purchased it from, A-Main Hobbies, and they were happy to replace it. They said send it in and we'll replace it immediately for you. Not really here to recommend, or tout any of the online distributors, but I will say that I'm very impressed with A-Main Hobbies. They've been great to work with. It was, really the only problem I've had with something that I purchased from them, and they took care of it immediately. When I sent it in, I put a little note in there asking them if they could please overnight it, since I'm such a nice guy, and they did. So here's the new servo. One of the things you're going to want to make sure of is when you take it out, and this is really the reason I said, all right, screw it, I'm going to go ahead and take this out, is because originally this was in here like that, and I took this servo out. Removing the connector from the receiver compartment was very difficult to do, believe it or not. And I didn't want to obviously mess up the one that I was going to send them, so they would ensure that they would send me a new one. So kind of lesson learned on my part. The next part is when I started to put this in, I looked at a piece right here that was down inside of there, and I figured out, oh, okay, I understand how it works. So really what happens is this piece right here has to fit under there. So to get the screws in there, and really, I mean, let's face it, there's no way with this piece right here installed on here for me to put the servo in as such, like that, get this piece, place it underneath, screw it in. There's just no way. So let's just take it apart and kind of, I'm trying not to, I'm treading very lightly, try not to take this thing apart. I'm sure as I get into it more I will. But anyways, once again, definitely just make sure you take it out. I promise you, you're going to really thank me later for that. You'll also notice that there are no batteries in here. And a tip that you should know is if you're going to let your car sit for an elongated period of time, and that could be 3 to 7 days, or 3 days or more I should say, I definitely would recommend to take the batteries out of both the receiver and the transmitter. At a minimum, what I would do is every other day come out and turn the electronics on, check the steering and the throttle, just to give the batteries a little power, because if they sit for a while, it's gonna ruin the batteries, and it could affect the battery compartment. So what I'm going to do is actually put brand new batteries in this. Okay, and once you have the batteries in, obviously the first thing you're going to want to do is check to make sure that the new unit works. You can see here, maybe you can see, that the receiver, this SR300, has the throttle and the steering connections labeled for you. So the first thing we're going to do is put in the new throttle connection. Figure out which way we go here. And you always want to be very, very gentle when doing this, excuse me, so that you don't bend any of the pins in which you're connecting. Alright, so now that we have it connected, first thing I want to do is turn on the transmitter. That looks good. And then we turn on the actual unit itself and we test. Looks good. Steering, and now the throttle. So everything looks good. Now we're ready to actually install the component. And when putting on the component, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have your wiring in the right direction. So everything, at least from this throttle servo, you need to make sure that it goes right in here to this little opening. And this is why I recommended earlier to take it off, because I promise you there's very, very little room to maneuver anything inside of there. So it's a lot easier if you just take it off. You can turn it over and put it in. Even now, I didn't record myself doing it just in case I dropped an F-bomb or something while I was doing it, but actually it only took me a few seconds to get it in, once again because I had a clear vision of everything that I was doing. So at this point, what we've done is we've tested the servos, made sure that they work properly, and we've started to prepare the wire for the housing.